Light is on the floor. It's that time again. It's that time again. What can I do? I screwed up again. I know I haven't been there lately. You don't have to say anything at all. I know sometimes it drives you crazy, but baby, you can change me. 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 Rain falls down on me. It's that time again. It's that time again. What can I do? I screwed up again. I know I haven't been there lately. You don't have to say anything at all. I know sometimes it drives you crazy, but baby, oh, baby, you can change me. No, baby, you cannot change me. No, I know sometimes it drives you crazy, but baby,
You're listening to Chill Your Mind Radio.
yeah, you can change me. You can change me. You can change me. You can change me. You can change me.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Let's jump right in it. My head's pounding, so it was hot today, man. It sucked. Let me close this out. I hope you guys are having a good week. Yeah, man, absolutely. It's all about the jams, dude. That's what I listen to when I'm actually doing my markups and stuff. So the week started out pretty awesome. That NU trade was fantastic. I actually was, I don't know if is Victor on? No, Victor's not on. So Friday, when one of the things I like to do is me and Victor jump on a Zoom call Friday afternoon, and we kind of go over our setups that we were looking at. And Friday I had noticed that we had some reaccumulation on NU, and I was hoping we were going to dive right into it on Sunday, Monday. So we caught it. If you guys, I threw it out in the Telegram group. If you guys jumped on it, good for you. I took the entry, I think it was last night around like 10:30 at night, my time. And then just let it ride, let it ride. So we'll review it. And, I want to go over, there's a couple key setups I'm looking at. There's actually like two that we're pretty close to getting on. So yeah, man, I saw that one, dude. That sucks, bro. That sucks. That's one of the things, man, that gets me is when the spread gets you. I'll go over some stuff too. That's why knowing your broker and knowing knowing exactly what the spread is really what's going to help you. Having an ECN account by far is the best. Just to give you an idea, right? On my broker right now, NU has four pipette spread. So I think last night it was like three pipettes. So let's get into it. We'll look it over. So really, if you guys have been looking up on the charts, we're pretty quiet for the week, right? Not a lot going on. It's an ECN account, right? I'll kind of give you guys some, if you don't have FX Choice by far, I think has one of the better spreads if you go with their pro account. So you just pay a little on the commission fee, but I'd rather pay a commission than, not have to deal with the spreads. So there's really not a lot going on, oil, where the heck is there it is. Oil, pay attention if you guys are going to trade oil. I don't have anything set up on oil, so I'm not really worrying about it. But we do have, there we go. We do have OPEC meetings going on tomorrow, so just be aware of it. But other than that, there's nothing. This Philly Fed manufacturing index might move some of the indices a little bit, but it's not going to have a huge move. Then the euro is going to have some PMI data on Friday, but I'm really not. If all goes well, I'm not going to be looking to get into any trades. So you can see we got nothing that's really going to be moving the market too crazy. So it should be pretty quiet. All right, let's jump into this stuff right here. Let's get into. I'm just going to go over the two trades, right? That I was looking at, and then we'll get into some of the setups I'm looking at. If you guys have something that you're looking at, throw it in the chart. We'll look at it, analyze it. We'll look at this one here first. I want to look at that. EU kind of ticked me off, right? Man, I really wanted to catch EU, but I was happy with NU, all right, let's get on. Man, I hope I didn't delete this stupid thing. NZD USD. Let's see. What's up, Matt? How's it going, bro? Yeah. Happy Tuesday, bro. All right. So, yeah, Euro's broken structure. If you're in that Euro trade, we just broke 5-minute structure. So I'm looking for another reentry. I closed out just before 5 because the spread was going to cost me a couple $100. So I knew I was just going to get back in it. So let's look at NU, right? So if we look at NU, we definitely had a fantastic, I'll go right to here like this, right? We definitely had a nice distribution schematic, right? Beautiful distribution schematic that was actually on the 4-hour, right? It kind of irritated me because you can see we came right into this 4-hour candle right here and sold off from there. I wanted to come a little deeper. So I personally didn't have the greatest entry. That stop loss wasn't as tight as I wanted, right? We were looking at like a 26 pip stop loss. So it is what it is, right? But we had a nice, re-entry on the last point of supply, another re-entry at another last point of supply. But then what I noticed on Friday, right, how we closed on Friday and everything, when I got down into the smaller time frames, and the 15 is exactly what I was looking at, right? What I saw was some reaccumulation, right? We saw some reaccumulation. So one of the things that I have done, and I'll pull it up right here. One of the things that I did is I've really started to dive into Wyckoff more than I used to, right? Like I've actually started to learn, why things are doing what they're doing. Okay. And what I did was I actually drew my own Wyckoff schematics. All right. And I've been just diving into these suckers, man. Let me get into diagrams. Okay. So what I saw here on reaccumulation, and these are the ones that I drew up, right? This is reaccumulation right here. Come on. Let's open it up. Okay, so here's reaccumulation, right? And ultimately, what it starts out as doing is it's a simple distribution schematic, right? So when we look at it, all of this here is distribution, right? We have, ultimately, this is all of phase A right here. Okay. This isn't tradable for us. And then we have our, phase B right in here. Okay. So ultimately what we're looking for is our up thrust, right? Our UT. And an up thrust is one of the things I've really back tested is an up thrust, a true up thrust will retest the trading range. Okay. So when you see me draw an arrow and I'll be like confirmed, TR, right? Confirmed TR just means that we confirm the trading range, right? So whether this sign of weakness comes to here or we get down and create, a low and take all this liquidity out, right? All right. It's just the difference between reaccumulation 1 and reaccumulation 2. All right. But ultimately, what I am looking for, right? What I am looking for is, this sell, right? I want that up thrust after distribution, that UTAD to happen, right? Goes above the UT. Okay. And then from there, right, we break structure and we get our test. And this right here is our entry, right, on the test. And then we sell it down. Okay. We sell it down. And that's ultimately what, we got on and I think it was like last week or the week before. That's what we got. Okay. But now what I did see was I saw that we made a test. We came down and we created this shakeout, right? But then we came back and broke structure. So when we broke structure, right, and created a retest of the trading range, that gave me all the confirmations that we were in reaccumulation. Okay. So that's what I wanted to see. And this was my entry right here. I wanted to catch that entry on the test of that trading range. All right. So I'm going to break it down. We'll look at it. And we'll go from there. All right. Let's look at it. Minimize that. Okay. So when we came in here, right, and we'll get in here like this. All right. You can see the schematic is pretty clean, right? Selling climax, right? And this is where sellers kind of died off. We had an automatic reaction to test the top of this range, right? This is a last point of supply up here. We came in, secondary test. We made that spring, right? Retested that spring, came up and made a UTAD, right? And in this UTAD, it's called the creek, right? You want to jump the creek. And it's almost, this is why break and retest works on some trades, because you're breaking structure and you're retesting it. All right. So that's ultimately what happened. All right. Now, when we dive into this, right? When we dive into this, what the heck is that noise? All right. When we dive into this, you can see that this is the candle I wanted to look at, right? I wanted to look at this last down candle on the 15-minute. And and this is one of the things when I sent out the chart, right? I just want to pull up the chart. When I sent out the chart, I actually had the chart off 50% of it. And it's up to you how you want to trade it, right? It's up to you. Let's see, where's the stupid chart? Here it is right here. Okay. So remember I said you got to find a happy medium. So here's the chart, right? You can see I was coming off of 50%, but that entire imbalance is what I wanted to see mitigated, right? That's exactly what I was looking at doing. The difference between 50%, right? The difference between 50% and the open was 2.7 pips. All right. So in this case, when I saw this happen, when the alert came off and this happened at 10:45 last night, right? I went ahead and just market executed on this sucker. All right. It was a no-brainer. Market executed. All right, hold on. Let me just delete this stupid Euro GBP. There we go. All right. And then that's the reaction I wanted to see. I wanted to see us just get up and go, right? It would have given you during London session, it would have given you a couple opportunities off the 5 minutes to re-enter if you wanted to. but that's ultimately what I was looking at, right? My stop loss was 11 pips. All right. It was just below this candle right here, the volume of this candle, because I wanted to account for this imbalance down here. All right. And then my targets, right? My first target was these equal highs right here, right? I wanted to take that out. And that happened. I closed out the entire trade and just left 10% open right at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? This was a nice, almost 6-to-1 ROI. All right. And then now my second targets are going to be these equal highs right here and mitigating some of this imbalance. And then I'm going to look to sell from this area here. You missed it too, bro? Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, I had my alert, and when the alert went off last night, thank God this happened at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night and not 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I'll tell you right now, I would have missed the trade myself. Right. But this was a clean trade. Now I personally am looking to re-enter this and get some more positions going as long as we do not take this high. All right. So if we take this high before it pulls back, then trade is off for me, right? I'm not looking to re-enter it. I'm going to be looking at potentially selling it. Okay. But one of the key areas I'm going to be looking at, and I've got it already marked up on my other chart, but it's simply, I want to see what happens when we get into this imbalance, right? You can see everything in here is evenly traded, right? And I'm particularly looking at this H1 candle, right? So even if we go off of the open of that H1, I mean, we're talking a very, very tight stop on a 1 hour candle, right? We're talking 6 pips. Okay, 6 pips. So that's something that I'm personally going to be looking at, and I'm going to be taking it, like I said, I'm going to be taking it up to these equal highs, right? Maybe 66,300 would be the nice round number I'll take it to. That's a nice 11, to 1 ROI that I'm going to be looking at. All right. But I won't know for sure until we get this move down, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. All right. I want to see how we react. And like I said, if these highs get taken before we pull back, then the deal is off for me, right? I won't be looking anymore at this. Man, yapping dogs, man, yapping dogs. All right. So that's NU, right? EU was the other one that I was looking at, and EU just ticked me off, man, because it never came back, right? Again, another reaccumulation that we had. I was looking off of this H1 candle right here. I wanted to take 50% of it, and you can see like it wasn't even close, right? I mean, the closest we came to coming back to it was like 25 pips. So the entry was in the morning. It was right here. That was let's see, where was the entry? Maybe on the 1 hour or the 5 minute. Let me see. There was a decent entry that we could have snagged. Oh, there it is right there. Yep. Here's the entry. So entry could have been right off of this candle at 7:20 in the morning. I wasn't on the charts yet. But this was pretty easy to pick up if you saw it. Last down candle, you can see we had that move down, right? On the 5 minute, this is your structure point, right? We did break 5 minute structure, and this could have been a pretty easy play right off of that, and stops just below the low, right? Stops just below the low. It's about an 8 pip stop. I don't even want to know what this thing would have been. Yeah, this thing would have been whatever, man. Look at that crap. That thing would have been a 12 to 1 if you just played it like that. All right. But EU for the most part, is done for me. I'm personally looking at a potential sell now for it. I just want to wait on confirmations, right? I want to wait on confirmations. But again, same thing, nice reaccumulation, right? You can see the creek. We jumped the creek. The retest was right on that candle right there of that creek. And it just really never gave any clean entries in this area right here, right? Never gave another clean entry. So it is what it is. You can't win them all. I can delete that. Um, Euro GBP. All right, I'll look at what you got. All right, so that's what I have on that. Now let's jump over here. Let me go to this other chart than mine. Let's take a look. All right, so what I am actually looking at, right? Let's just go down the list, right? So euro. Um, Now I'm not looking to sell euro yet. If we look at the dollar index, right? Where did you read about this part of Wyckoff? Um, what do you mean, like a reaccumulation and stuff? So I got this book, right? Yep. All right. So here, I'll show you, Mike. Here, get it. It's like $22 on Amazon. Um, there it is, Wyckoff. Okay, it's like $22. You can order it on Prime, and this book right here is Wyckoff Mythology in Depth. It's a horrible read, meaning like the grammar, because it was written by this guy from Spain, and it was written in Spanish, and they like Google translated it. So like punctuations off and like run-on sentences and stuff. But the theory and the understanding of Wyckoff is there. And then the other thing that I did, I'll throw this in the chat. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the PDF. Let me go to charts. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like I read it twice and I've highlighted the crap out of it. Um, all right, so here I'm gonna put. Let me see if I can just toss that in there. Uh, Mike, just you know what? Remind me. You got it on iBooks. All right. Remind me too, because I have this. I have this like little document too that I've kind of been looking at. It's a PDF. I'll send it to you as well. But yeah. I got EJ too. I'm looking at it now. We'll get into it. All right, we'll go look at EG too. So, all right. Let me close out this. Did you start with the Trade House guys training to understand why cause? Yes. Yeah. You know who I learned it from was Zach McDonald. You know, Zach, and he's actually going to be doing a class this week or next week. Just message me in Telegram, and I'll send you the PDF document too. It kind of breaks down, but you definitely want to read about it, right? Because you want to understand what these, like, you want to understand what all this means. Okay. But real quick, just on EU, so we're starting to see a distribution schematic, right, on the 4 hour, the bigger time frame. All right. Now, like I told you, for this up thrust to be a true up thrust, okay, it needs to come down and trade into the lower end of the trading range, right? That would be a confirmed up thrust. And for me to even get into this trade, I would need a break of structure. So that's what this alert is right here. All right. I want to see us break 1 hour structure, and 1 hour structure would be breaking below that low, right? So until that happens, I'm not even looking at a sell on EU. And the same thing on GBP USD, right? So one of the things, and I just want to kind of get you guys to understand this, right? This is, let me pull up what I sent Victor the other night, right? So when I was game planning, and I was like, all right, what am I looking at? What trades am I looking at? You know, so I kind of just mark up stuff, and then I'm like, all right, well, if this happens, right, if this takes place, then this is how I'm going to trade it. All right. So what I was looking on GU, right, because we're in the middle of this trading range. Where the heck is it? Here it is right here. Okay. So I don't even know what day this, the 17th, whatever the 17th was, right? We were stuck in the middle, and you can see I'm either in distribution or we're going to be in reaccumulation. Okay. So if we come up, we're going to be in distribution, right? And if we come down and make a spring and a test, we're going to be in reaccumulation. So depending on how we played off of this was going to give me the bias of what we were going to do. All right. And you can see we've made that UTAD. Okay. So there's no point in me trying to sell it yet. Again, I need to get a break of structure. All right. So I have an alert here on my other chart. I'm just going to be waiting for this to sell down. Once we get a break of structure, then I'll possibly look at selling it down, right? And we'll sell it down and we'll determine what's going to happen. But I'm in no hurry to try to sell it because this is just how this has a ton of momentum behind it. All right. But that's kind of how I start to see it. You know, there's no trade here for me yet. You know, I'm going to wait until we get a break below the trading range and we'll see how this plays out. All right. Let's go to Euro GP. Oh, perfect. Look at this. All right. So this is what I'm looking at, right? Um, if you look at higher time frame, right? We just do a top down. Okay. Top down. It's pretty simple. We are bullish on EG or on EJ on the daily, right? Bullish all day long on it. On the 4 hour, same thing, right? We really haven't. Okay. This was the previous low, right? So high, low, lower high, lower low. All right. So we did break structure on the 4 hour. We are technically bearish, but this ultimately could be just a pullback still, right? Because if we go from this point of structure to this point of structure, you can see that we're sitting, you know, we eclipse just below the 50%. All right. Could that mean that we can come lower? Absolutely. You know, we have some imbalance in here and stuff, but the fact that on the 1 hour, we did break structure, right? The fact that we broke structure on the 1 hour, right here, all right? When we did that and broke above, and you can see the nice reaction that we got off of it, all right? Tells me that this is potentially going to be a decent buy. All right. So whether you want to take it off the H1 open and have a 12 pip stop loss, that's an entry, or I got in off 50% earlier today off of here on my smaller account. All right. I mean, I just put a little 5,000 lot on it. So I got in here on that, and you can come off of the 15-minute. Why is this black? Hold on. Because I was on the other chart. All right. Or you can come on the 15-minute, right? And take the 15-minute open and really crunch down your stop loss. Okay. So that's going to be kind of your decision on how you want to take it. All right. But ultimately stops should be supportive by here, right? And our targets, right? Our targets are take profit 1 are going to be these equal highs right here. Take profit 2 are these equal highs. And ultimately, take profit 3, if we can get up there, is going to be these equal highs right here, right? Those equal highs right here. So I'm personally on this account, right? On this small account, I'm just doing it off the 1 hour, okay? And you can see if we get all the way up to take profit 3, it's going to be a 10 to 1, all right? So I'll send this in the chat if you guys want to take a look at it. The entry's coming up right now. You know, we're almost at entry on it. So this is the trade that I'm going to be taking. GU has been more fruitful than EU. Yeah. So here's the one thing about GU though. And when you start to have a bigger account, you're going to have to really account for margin. So just to give you an idea, GU for me requires 5% margin, where EU only requires 2%. So I can take a bigger position, right? Especially on a tighter stop. I could take a bigger position on EU. So for me, EU is worth more than GU. But if you don't have to worry, if you don't have those issues yet where you got to worry about the, the margin and all that stuff, then, you're in a good spot. But when you start to get a larger account, you're gonna have to deal with that shenanigans. All right. So it's active. I'm gonna let it play out. If this does get stopped out, it just means that we're gonna break structure, right? So and my bias was wrong. But I am looking at doing this. All right. I am looking at taking this up. And we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. Any questions on EJ? Does anyone have anything? No, none. All right. Here, Matt, what do you got, man? Is it the same markup? I didn't even see that one in there. You're going off the 5 minute. What is that? 15 minute down here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm on my bigger account. I have an order sitting right here at the 15. So I do want it to get down there. And if you guys look at Matt's, it comes right in line with the 88.6. Um, so let me just see from this low to this high. Bam. Yeah. So you can see the 15 right there at the 88.6. I mean, that's the entry I'm looking at, right? We've built liquidity here, right? So this is a run on liquidity. Everyone that was trying to buy here all day long, right? Probably got their stop losses smashed. We're coming into some imbalance, and we'll take it up from there. It's a pretty easy setup. Pretty easy setup. Yeah. I mean, just don't over leverage, don't over risk it. For me, it's a half of a percent is what I'm risking on this sucker, and then we'll go from there. All right. Let's look at EG because I'm in EG and I wanted to get another entry, right? So my thought on EG was this, right? We had H1 open, right? All right. So let's do it like this, right? So on EG, because I have it marked up on this chart, what is the higher time frame telling us, right? What is the higher time frame telling us? Well, if we look at EG on a weekly on a weekly time frame, right? Let's go to weekly. Let's go GBP, and I think I did it on this one. Nope. I think I did it on this one. There we go. All right. So what is the weekly telling us, right? Well, the weekly is telling us that we're in distribution, right? Clear schematic, right? Phase A, phase B. Again, you can see, right? UT confirmed with a test of the trading range, right? This was the UT. Bam. We got the UTAD, right? The up thrust after distribution. And now we're waiting for the test, right? I want to see price come back up and test the demand zone, right? The supply zone before we start breaking down and I want to get an entry on the test, the last point of supply, and then take the sucker down. And I've been saying this for months that I want to target these lows, and then these lows. All right. I mean, we definitely have a lot of room to go. So it's just about being patient, right? Last week, I caught I caught a sell on this. It was 2 pips, the stop loss. It was a phenomenal trade. But when we're looking at this, what we see, right? What we see, let's go back to this chart. All right. And let's go to EG. Okay. So what I personally was waiting for, right? I was looking to play off of this 1 hour candle, right? And that was fine. No issues, right? I wanted to play off of this 1 hour candle. All right. Cause you could see how we reacted off of this H1, right? Came up, we broke structure, right? H1 break of structure. And obviously something happened in here, right? Something happened in this candle right here. So I want to see how we react when we get up there. But now for me, right? I want to see us build a schematic here, right? So you can see I've kind of been drawing this out. I wanted to see how we played out. We had the spring, we really didn't hold support on it. So I'm personally waiting. I want to see us really give us some signs of wanting to move forward, right? Of wanting to build up. Now, one of the things I do look at is the volume, right? I got to do it on this one because forex.com doesn't have volume. So one of the things I want to see is I want to see decreased volume, right? So we could see here how volume coming into this spring, right, was all decreased. And we're slowly starting to see an increase in volume. And I could care less about red or green, doesn't matter to me. I just want to see a decrease in volume. And as we expand, an increase in volume, right? An increase in volume. So we're slowly starting to see that increase in volume now, right? We're starting to see that increase in volume. So that's a good sign, right? That's something I want to see us do. So ultimately I took that entry off the H1, right? With my spread. It was like a 2 pip spread or something like that. So I came in on the smaller order on my small account here, but now on my big account, I'm just waiting, right? I want to see us get up here, and I want to see a closure above this area. uh, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Matt. So I want to see a closure above this 5-minute break of structure, and then I will play another, another entry. So ultimately, what I want to see is something like this, right? I want to see us close because you can see how we're just kind of teetering around here, right? I want to see us finally get up here and close, and then come back, right? So something like this. If just say hypothetically, if that was the candle that I was going to play off of, right? I want to play off of this candle. Just say hypothetically that was it, right? I can do something like this, right? And then stop loss just below this. So about 3.5 pip stop loss. And then we take it up. All right. But I need to wait for us to finally get up and close above this stupid, you know, consolidation here, right? That's what ultimately I'm looking at. All right. So right now for me, it's just a waiting game. I wanna get a, and let me set my alert back because I deleted it. I want to wait until we get that, right? I want to wait to see, that break of structure, and then we play something off of it, right? Whatever candle I see, whether, if this was it, if this is the candle that finally took out any liquidity and say that's like a 30-minute candle, right? Then I play off the 30-minute candle. All right. But right now, I'm not looking to re-enter another position until it shows me that we want to go higher, right? Until we break above this 5-minute structure and hold it. Okay, that's ultimately what I'm looking at. Um, all right, so now let's get into what really is going on. All right, so AJ, right? AJ is, what do I have on AJ? I think it's off the 1 hour. All right, so beginning of the month, we caught that accumulation in here. All right. We have some clear targets, right? Equal highs up here and then equal highs at this white line. All right. What on the higher time frame, we're at that higher range, right? We are up at premium prices. So, potentially the sell is warranted, but I don't want to sell it until we take out this liquidity. All right. I'm looking at a play. You can see where my limit is right here. I'm looking at a play in this imbalance, which is just above the 88.6. All right. It's a 14 pip stop loss. All right. And I'm looking to target these equal highs up here and then ultimately getting up into these equal highs right here. Right. This is going to be definitely where I'm going to really start to pay attention once we get up here. And you can just see slowly we've just been trickling down, trickling down, trickling down. All right. So this is one of the setups I'm looking to play off of on AJ. All right. That's one of the setups I'm looking on AJ. All right. And that's pretty clear. It's a pretty cut and dry. We've slowly been, trading back down, for potential reaccumulation. Right. So if you look on the bigger schematic, something like on a 4 hour, right? I mean, there's the bigger accumulation down there, but I want to get into this last point of supply right here, right? This supply, and then we take it up, and you can see my targets, right? My targets are these equal highs right here. All right. CAD yen, I'm going to be waiting on. Now, CAD yen, I'm not going to put an order in, but I've had this marked up for a while, and same thing, right? What I'm personally going to be looking for is I want to once we get in here, I want us to pretty much just like Euro GBP, I want to start building a schematic, right? Get into this area and just start, showing us a, seller's climax, automatic reaction, come down to a secondary test. I want to see us build a Wyckoff schematic, and then I'm going to enter, right? It may be, depending on the time of day, if this is trickling and slowing down and showing me signs of exhaustion, I may just go ahead and market execute off that 1 hour, maybe do like a 0.25% risk, and then just go from it off that. All right. That's going to be what I'm going to be looking at. but I am definitely looking at taking some of these yen crosses up. The only one that I'm not is NJ, right? And I'm going to talk about that in a second. The reason I'm not looking at NJ is because I'm looking at the Australian currency to be stronger than New Zealand right now. Um, and I'm potentially have a sell on NJ, right? Even if it's short term, it's still going to be a sell that I'm looking at. But this is CAD-J, same thing. I'm going to be looking, for just some once that alert goes off, I'll take a look at it, and I want to see if this is going to be supportive, right? This 1 hour candle right in here. All right, EuroCAD is actually something I'm really looking at. I was looking at Euro Odd, but I think EuroCAD is going to be a better setup. When we dive into it on the 1 hour, right, you had this clear 1 hour candle right here that came down, took out any liquidity. We have equal lows, right? So the agenda is there. I'm going to go 50%. It's about a 20 pip stop loss, right? Just below the low here. All right. It's where I'm going to be getting into it and putting some risk on. And then my targets, right? So it's going to be a short-term target. I'm not looking too crazy on this, right? There is some 4 hour imbalance right in here, right? Yeah, right there. You can see the 4 hour imbalance. All right. And I want to get into that imbalance, right? That's potentially where I want to see us trick into. It's a 7-to-1 ROI, on a 20 pip stop loss. So it's going to give it some room to breathe, and then go from there. See how it plays out. All right, that's ultimately what I'm looking at right there. Throw that in the chat for you guys. All right. Now this was accumulation, right? This area in here was accumulation, right? We had our preliminary supply or support. We had our seller's climax, automatic reaction, secondary test, right? Signs of strength. We came back, did another secondary test, right? We never had the spring, right? So this was an accumulation, schematic number 2. And number 1 is got the spring and the test, and then the number 2 is just simply off the last point of supply and then went up. So this right here, I want to see if we can dip into the supply point, right, off of this candle and then take it higher. All right. So that's, this entire thing is still accumulation. If it doesn't come down, right, if we mitigate this imbalance, and create a higher high, I'm pretty much not going to be looking to get into this trade, because ultimately that would be a break of structure, right? So I kind of just want to see if we can get down here tonight, that'd be a buy. Other than that, I'm really not going to be looking at it. All right. I talked about Euro, right? Euro, I'm just waiting on that break of structure. Other than that, there's nothing. I mean, it's at premium prices. If we get a pullback, then potentially I'll be looking at a buy. But it all depends on what what ultimately I see. Right now we're starting to build a distribution schematic. I'm just going to let it play out. GA, right? So here, let's look at GA. All right. I was potentially looking at buying GA, right, back in here. All right. One of the things I was looking at was off of this area in here, and I'm going to show you why I didn't. All right. So, all right, here's what I was looking at. All right. So I got up about 7 o'clock in the morning. All right. Seller's climax, automatic reaction, secondary test in B. We had the spring, right? We had the spring. You could see right at the secondary test in phase B is just the opposite of the up thrust, right? We have a test of the trading range. We came down and made the spring, right? Made the spring, but in order for me to get into this trade, I needed that break of structure. So we're on the 1 minute. I would have needed that 1 minute break of structure, and then I would have taken the test, right? But because we didn't get that break of structure, you can see I still had it up here, but there was no trade, right? There was no trade. I just let it happen, deleted my alert and really didn't look at it again. Now, if you look where we're at, right, look at the 4 hour, we are still in accumulation, right? Bigger time frame, we're in accumulation, right? Until we break above this range right here, all right, this is still accumulation, all right? Just on the higher time frame, okay? So I'm ultimately, right now I'm just kind of letting it play out. I mean, I don't see anything clear. One of the things I may look at is if we come back down and revisit this area in here, potentially that may be an area I want to look at, off of that. Um, just to see. I want to see what that, that's still a pretty large stop loss. Yeah, I mean that's 25 pips. Um, we do have some clear equal highs up here that I would be targeting, just taking it up there. I mean, that's a 6 to 1, but I would, I'll set an alert on it. I'll set an alert, you know, if I'm up when I see it, I'll take a look at it. But, ultimately you could see we broke structure. Actually, no, we haven't broken structure yet. I would be waiting, right? I would be waiting above this would be a break of structure. So, I mean, we probably broke structure on the 15-minute. Yeah, 15-minute, we broke structure, right? This is the last up on the 15. So we broke some 15-minute structure, which is still enough confluence for me to get into this trade. So I'll take a look. I don't want to get into all these trades. I'm only looking for 3 or 4 trades for this week, um, but now NJ is something I'm really looking at, right? And let me show you why I'm looking at this. Okay. I'm looking for this for the sell, and the sell is pretty clear, right? You can see we were in distribution here, right? Definitely a bearish market. All right. We did react off of this last down candle right here, right? We did react off of that. But now what I am looking at is this, okay? We had clear liquidity. This is the last up candle, right? That FU candle that grabbed liquidity. Now we attempted to mitigate out. We did go into the open, right? This candle right here did go into the open of it, but we didn't go to 50%. All right. Had we gone to 50%, my stop loss would have been just above this wick. We definitely have equal highs, equal highs, equal highs, right? We have some imbalance. So I would like to see us trade up, and off the 15-minute time frame, right? My entry would be off of this last up candle, the open of it. All right. Now my stop loss has to be a little larger because I have to go to the top of this candle. All right. Again, had this come to 50%, I would have just made that my my stop loss. So this is about a 15 pip stop loss. All right. And if I just take it to these lows right here, this little imbalance in here, it's almost a 4.5 to 1. Again, this is short term, right? I'm not looking to take this, to the ends of the earth. Um, can it go lower? Absolutely. We definitely have some, some liquidity resting down here. Just I'm very cognizant of the Japanese yen right now, right? The yen showed some signs of strength early in the week, but if you look at the yen futures, I'm starting to see some weakening, and that's why I would prefer just to follow this, get in, get out, nice little intraday move, and I'm done with it. All right. But here I'll send this to you guys. It's off the 15-minute candle. Again, it's if I can get 4% out of it, I'll be happy with it. It's nothing crazy. It's not like a 10 to 1 or anything, but like I said, I'll take a 4 to 1 all day long. All right. Okay, so that's what I'm looking on NJ, right? And again, it's based off of this candle, right? This candle is the one that's really screwing everything up, because if not, we'd be looking at about a 7, maybe anywhere between 6 and 7 pip stop loss. Okay. We talked about NU. I definitely want to see what happens when we get into this, right? And then the last thing I was looking at was GCAD. Where is GCAD? I was looking at Euro odd, right? I wanted to see, we have clear liquidity up here, and I wanted to see if we play off something in here. But I think Euro CAD is a cleaner setup, right? For me, this is just a lot of chop. But on GCAD, one of the things, right? If we look at the 4-hour, right? We broke 4-hour structure, right? This is low. We made a new high. This is the pullback, new high, right? Low, high. So I want to see, there was some accumulation going on in here, right? This is all accumulation in here. All right. Um, so I want to potentially play off of this 1 hour candle right here. That's where I want to play off of. You know, on the smaller time frames, um, you know, you can see that there's a small, you know, this right here, there's a small amount of inefficiency here on the 5 minute. Um, you know, we do have that imbalance in here, but that's just too much risk. You know, if I'm going to get into this trade, it has to be at this lower end. And my stop loss, right? My stop loss would be, even though I hate having it below equal lows, it'd be in here. Because the way I would play this is this way, right? I would play it off of, I'd give this 2 attempts, right? Attempt number 1 would be something like that, like a 16 pip stop loss. Okay. And then attempt number 2 would go off of this 30-minute right in here, right? 30-minute open. And that's how I'm going to play attempt number 2 off the 30-minute open. Stop loss just below that stuff. So it's like a 16 pip stop loss there, right? So if I get stopped out on the first, I'll give it a second. You know, my targets would be right up here, right? Those are my targets. You know, so it's either going to be something like a 12 to 1 or a 13 and a half to 1, right? That's ultimately how I'm looking to play it. So I'll send this to you guys too. And like I said, I'm not looking to trade all of these. You know, I'm going to be a little selective on it. Like I said, I'm already up pretty nicely with NU and with US 30. And we'll get into the indices now, but you know, ultimately that's how I'm looking to play it, right? Play it off of, you know, those are my targets. Entry is going to be off of in here, either this range or this range. All right. Let's take a look at, so oil. I mean, I'm not touching oil really. I got to run. All right. Sounds good, man. Have a good one, bro. I'm really not touching oil. Let me check the volume off. You know, my targets were met. You know, this is kind of just, you know, it's slowly climbing, but I really don't see anything for me to really get into yet. You know, I'm waiting to see what happens. You know, I mean, it's got a clear, you know, trend line being built. You know, so I'll let the trend line traders deal with it. You know, I'm not going to touch it much. And then gold is just doing its thing, man. I actually, you know, we were looking at buying it from down here. We just never saw that pullback. So for right now, I mean, I'm just going to let it do its thing. You know, I'm not, there's really no need for me to dive into this because there's nothing clean about any of that. Right. I mean, this is just, you know, this is, if you saw what happened this morning at 9:30 open, right? I mean, this just, I mean, the fact that this dropped at the same time that the indices tells me that there's just profit taking. You know, this dropped, you know, 402 pips. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. You know, so it took out all that liquidity that was sitting there and came into this imbalance, right? So, you know, for me, I don't see anything worth me putting any risk into. All right. That's pretty much all I have for the currencies before I get into the indices. So I don't know who was trading AN last week. Somebody asked me about it. I remember I said, you know, I would wait for a break of structure. Well, there's your break of structure, right? We broke structure. I'd be looking for a pullback and then to sell it down. AU. Yeah, AU, I got nothing on. Like I said, Euro odd, but I think Euro CAD is the better setup. GCAD, let me move that over to orders. I'm gonna put an order in on it. GU, let's see, NZD CAD. Yeah, this thing had a nice distribution, right? It never came back to retest, right? It never came back to get into a last point of supply. So when things, I'll tell you right now, when trades for me don't, when it's not clean, and I tell people this all the time. The easiest thing for you to do when you see stuff like this, that it just isn't following what you want it to do, you come over here and you see this X, you just click that and get it off your watch list, right? That's the easiest thing to do. Don't worry about getting into, craziness. I was potentially looking at a sell on UCAD, but this sucker just keeps running. So we'll let it be. UJ, I'm not catching a falling knife. This thing, UJ has dropped this week almost 200 pips. So I was looking to buy it, right? When we were in here, I wanted to buy it somewhere in here, take it up to the highs, but it's just, look at that. The sell from there never happened. So, we just move on, right? We move on. All right. So let's take a look at indices here. All right. I don't know if you guys have seen what the 4-hour chart looks like, but it is garbage. Look at that. That is garbage. I don't even know, I don't even know. It is horrible. I did catch the sell today. I actually caught it off S&P. And yeah, it has been, it's been horrible. Not looking to trade XU until it reaches this area. Let's see. Yeah, I mean that's an area of focus, absolutely, man. Yeah, it definitely grabbed liquidity. I understand that gold is bullish, especially if you follow what's going on. I'll say it again, Judy Shelton, man, Judy Shelton. So I envision, I mean, yeah, we could get a sell off of there, but long term, we are just going to go through the moon, right? If you guys paid attention last week, I was talking about the rainbow currency that, where the agenda is being pushed for, getting us on metals, platinum, silver, and gold. You got Judy Shelton's congressional appointment that's going to be going through, and if that happens, she is going to be a big advocate of pushing us on the gold standard. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's see. All right, so yeah, man, this is just garbage. I was pissed because I was looking for re-entry, right? When we sold down, I was like, all right, you know what, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to buy it. Right, I want to get a nice buy. And I mean, we just didn't get it. We just shot up way too quick. So, I do think we're going to continue to sell. If you look at S&P, I mean, this is just madness, right? I was looking potentially to sell from here, right? And I did. I mean, I went to break even. What was it, like in here? Price came in. I actually took it off of 50% of that. I was in a couple points and it just hit break even, so I was done with it. I was done. But I did catch this sell on the smaller time frame. All right, the sell, and where I sold it from was a point of interest. Where did I sell it from? I want to say, you know what? I think 33.94 was a point of interest that I got in. I think Mike Navarrete was looking at it last week, but it's all the way to the left here. I put a small position on it. It did activate. I was only targeting some lower, or I'm sorry, some higher areas, but I do think we're going to be coming down, right? I don't think we're coming all the way down here, but I do think that we're going to fill in a lot of this imbalance down here. But yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, we are showing some distribution. All right, man, Mike, have a good one, bro. We are showing some distribution, right? But yeah, right now, this is just, I mean, look at these wicks, man. This is just garbage. I could delete this. Yeah, this isn't clean. You got NASDAQ that's all-time highs. Um, man, yeah, this is garbage. Um, structure-wise, we did break structure, right? You could see we let's look at the 1 hour, right? So no, actually in the 1 hour, we created, look at that. The 1 hour is, man, this is horrible. Look at this entire week. Look at this. This entire week has just been crap. Um, I'll tell you right now, without a doubt, we are going to slam through these lows, because if you look at S&P, we have equal lows on the 1 hour, right? We created equal lows. So this was that 10 o'clock drop. we are going to take these equal lows out. So S&P may be the trade for me tomorrow. I mean, that's a nice 20-point drop. So if I can find an entry on like a smaller time frame, say I would like to get, man, I would like to get an entry, but I don't want to trade it right now. I would wait till maybe like London crossover time. But if we can get an entry, those are my targets, right? These are going to be my targets. These equal lows right in here. These are the targets. So I just don't want to trade it yet, because one, we just got way too much time between now and then. It's not something I'm looking very favorable at. But ultimately, I do think we are going to make a new high. I do think we are going to make a new high, but I think they need to clean out a lot of this liquidity, right? We've had way too much. Look at this nice rise. So I mean, right now that I don't see anything clean, and nothing that I want to trade. This is just slop. Anybody else have anything they're looking at? I mean, like I said, I have these two. And then I've got these right here. I'm pretty much, this is my week. That's all I'm really going to be trading. I'm not going to be going crazy. I still think the yen crosses are going to be the better setups for us. And then we'll see what this happens. This is shenanigans. So anybody have anything else they're looking at? Anything you guys want to go over? If not, I think this is probably the quickest Zoom I've had, man. Like I said, I got a headache, so I was screaming through it. But one of the things here, I'll show you guys real quick. One of the things that's helped me out with Wyckoff, all right. One of the things that's helped me out is so I drew these all out, right? These are the ones that are tradable, right? There's a couple schematics that just aren't tradable. I mean, you're going to have huge, ridiculous stop losses. So these are the ones that are actual tradable. And all I did, I just came on the dollar index down to the bottom, and I just drew them out. And understanding what these are, right? Understanding what a seller's climax is and a secondary test. Understanding what the purpose of these positions are. Okay. Here's the accumulation type 3 is just not tradable. Accumulation type 4 is tradable. You'll have this descending wedge, distribution, all that stuff. So just drawing these out and being able to see them, right, and see them, that's helped me a lot in identifying the schematic on different different time frames. All right. So like I said, I would definitely, if you're interested in Wyckoff, I would definitely start to get into it, start reading about it, understanding what it's doing. And then that should help. That should help with some stuff. That's about it. I mean, I don't know if let me show you guys these real quick. Can you share those slides? Yeah, I could share them. Real quick, I just want to show you. This was Thursday going into Friday's trade. This was phenomenal, man. let me see. I'll tell you what, if just message me on Telegram and I'll just send you the PDFs. So this sucker right here, man, was a 2-pip stop loss. This was 0 GBP. This was Thursday. The sell, beautiful entry. I mean, clear as day. You can see it was a 2.4 stop loss. The entire trade was an 18-1, right? It reacted off that candle down there. That's the weekly. But yeah, and then here was the redistribution on the smaller time frame. Another 2-pip stop loss. Beautiful. We had a break of structure. I took this as the entry right here. It came back and revisited a second time before it sold off. Just a phenomenal trade, man. Just a phenomenal trade. And yeah, I mean, the first one ended up being a 16.65 when it was all said and done to 1. But other than that, man, that's it. That's all I got. I spent a lot of time journaling those suckers. If no one else has anything else, man, we're going to call it a night. But like I said, I would keep an eye on those setups. If you guys got into Euro, Japanese yen, it is I don't know, it's up by like 4 pips, 3 pips. So no big deal, no big deal. Just manage the trade. I would say that once we break above these highs right here, that's when I would go to break even. I'm personally waiting for that 15-minute entry. But as soon as that happens, I'm going to go to break even and then sleep like a baby, man. So, alrighty. Well, listen, you guys have a good one. Enjoy. Sorry I wasn't a little bit longer, but yeah, like I said, I got a pounding headache. So I will catch you guys later. Enjoy, and message me on Telegram if you guys need any of these slides, and I'll message it back to you. All right. Have a good one, guys. See you.